Do you struggle to get your teenagers to listen to you? You know, it's all too common when our kids are going through their independent, rebellious teen years that they start to question our authority, push back against our rules, test our boundaries, or sometimes just push our buttons for the heck of it. In this video, I'm going to share a couple of insights you can use to connect with your teenager and positively influence them, even up to this point they've refused to listen to you. So let's get started. We want our kids to listen to us. Sometimes we desperately want them to listen to us. Well, I'm going to show you how, but it's backwards from how you may be thinking. Number one, if you're not getting through to them, you have to meet them where they are. Let me tell you a true story in our family that had a much bigger benefit and effect than I would ever have guessed. This was not very long ago. My youngest daughter felt like she didn't have much of a relationship with her little brother. She wanted one. So she would always ask him about his day or ask him about school, and he would sort of grunt or give her one-word responses. He just didn't want to talk about that stuff. Well, she kind of took that personally. She felt like he just didn't want to talk to her, like he didn't care about her. Well, she would complain to me about this, but not too long ago, she came to me complaining again. And she just said, "Daddy's just not that interested in me." It made her feel bad. So I told her what I tell parents. I said, "Honey, you have to meet him where he is. You know, he doesn't want to talk about school. That's what you want to talk about. He wants to talk about stuff he likes. Ask him about his dirt bike. Have him take you into the garage and explain everything to you about it." And so she did that. She went and asked him about his dirt bike. She was actually visiting home from college and she just had a couple of days. So they ended up going into the garage and they spent forever in there. They were in there at least an hour, which surprised us because I just didn't think she'd ever want to listen that long. Well, that one small moment and their relationship has changed dramatically, way more than we would have ever thought. He now looks forward to seeing her. He calls her. He wants to spend time with her when she's home on a school break. This just occurred a few months ago, and to this day, she and I will talk about like what a surprise, what a huge impact this little thing had on their relationship. Before I say more, I want to thank you for watching this video. Do you struggle to communicate with your child or to discipline them effectively? You know, none of us were ever given a manual that tells us exactly what to do in every situation. We've had to learn by trial and error. I've had to learn by trial and error. Well, this channel is all about using my system of correcting and connecting to build a strong, influential relationship with your child. If that's the kind of thing you want to know more about, then like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with any friend you think would benefit from it. Now let's get back to the video. The second thing you can do is to increase your connection by spending one-on-one time together. Here's a real example from my life. And this is something that I already know. I preach this all the time, but I forget it as well. Not long ago, Valerie left town with our son, and they went to spend time together in southern Utah. So my daughter and I were alone together. It was just the two of us. So we ended up going to the grocery store to buy some food for dinner, and it was just her and I in the car. There was no agenda. We were just kind of hanging out together. And so while we're together, she just starts opening up. She starts talking about things that were on her mind. And she was talking about boys, and she was talking about school, and she was talking about college. And as we were standing there in line in the grocery store, she sort of puts her head on my shoulder. I don't even think she realized she was doing it. She just, this little physical, affectionate thing she did, you know. And then the rest of the night, she just kind of wanted to hang out. So we ended up just hanging out that night, and we ended up having some really nice little talks. And while we're talking, she was listening to me. Now, it's just a little thing. This was no major event. I had no agenda. I didn't even set out to do this, but just this little one-on-one time together felt like it brought us closer together in that moment. So for you, do that as well. Do something spontaneous, or you can even make a plan. Go on a date with your kid, or just try to spend some one-on-one time together. I promise you, your child will like this way more than you think. Even if they don't say much, that's okay. Number 3, don't blow it by giving out a bunch of advice, telling your kids what they should be doing. Nobody wants advice, especially your teenager. When you're together, This is your chance to connect with them. And the easiest way to do that is listening. I'm going to tell you a story that really illustrates the power of listening. Again, this is just a little experience. Something just sort of happened, wasn't planned. But I think it happened because there was a lot of listening going on. A few years ago, my daughter was dating this boy who, according to her, had some issues. That's all I knew. I didn't know what the issues were. I had no idea. I had no specifics. But I did know that in a lot of little ways, he kept hurting her feelings. Now, it's possible that I'm a little protective as a dad, but whenever we were talking about this boy, I would try to interject my concerns. I would try to tell her what I thought she should do. Basically, I wanted her to get rid of it. But every time I said something, she would get frustrated. She did not want to hear it, and she was not hearing it from me. So I eventually shut up. I stopped giving her advice because I could see it was shutting her down. I had to bite my tongue, and I had to do a whole lot of listening. Well, after that was the norm for us with this situation, finally, then I was able to say some things and she could hear them because I was listening. I did 95% listening, 5% talking. Just listening calms her, so I suggest you give that a try. Are you looking for a more effective way to connect with your kid and to have positive long-term influence with them? Maybe your children are misbehaving or going through a difficult phase and you just struggle knowing how to discipline them or even sometimes just how to reach them or have a relationship with them. Well, my name is Dr. Todd Corelli, and I've spent the last 25 years as a clinical psychologist working primarily with children, adolescents, young adults, and their families. I have worked with thousands and thousands of families across the globe, and I've seen the challenges that are facing families today. That's why I've created a 4-part video series that is completely free to watch and available for immediate viewing. This helps parents become much more effective at bonding with and positively influencing their children. This system is completely unique and highly effective. I've seen this system benefit my own family and so many others, and I want your family to have this too. Just go to the link in the video description below or go to correctandconnect.com. Enter your details, click the button, and I will send you immediate access.